I'm not a tax professional. I am not a loan specialist. I am not a government employee. I am just someone on the internet with a camera who runs a business and is trying to stay afloat just like you. So, yeah. Hey everyone, it's me, Hallease, endeavoring to persevere, as always. If you're new here, I make videos about my chaotic good life. Subscribe, follow, social media. So this is gonna be a Monday motivation video. For those of y'all who don't know, these actually go out exclusively to my Patreon producers every Monday, patreon.com/Hallease if you're interested. But every now and then I open them up to everyone so that way we can keep the conversation going. And I felt like the one that I wanted to do for today was pertinent to a lot of different people. And so I just wanted to get on and talk about it. So I'll probably put it in the title or whatever, but I'm talking about the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Plan that the government is putting out for businesses, small businesses to be specific. I just want to get on and talk about it because I applied to it for my production company over the weekend, and I want to just talk about the process, how it went, things to consider, so on and so forth, because I want to just make sure y'all are aware that this is out there. I mean, I feel like you probably are aware because it's been all over the news and so on and so forth, but I don't know, with my Monday motivations, a lot of times I talk about running the production company on these. I answer questions from the Patreon producers if they have any, and try to just give, here's how I did it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but here's what I did, you know? If you can gain any knowledge from that, awesome. So I'm gonna talk through it in this video and then also link to a lot of stuff in the description box. So please go check that out. Don't take everything I say at face value. Go read some stuff. I applied for the PPP over the weekend. Again, that's the Paycheck Protection Plan. And I applied for StumbleWell. As y'all may or may not know, I run a production company, and within the production company is this channel, as well as Sans Gluten. And then also behind the scenes, what I do with the production company is I create content, mostly storytelling, branded storytelling documentaries for companies that they can use on their website or their social media, stuff like that. Obviously, not really filming much right now for that end of the production company because everybody's social distancing, so on and so forth. And to be honest, that was actually how StumbleWell makes the bulk of its money, is by working with other entities to produce video content for them, not necessarily here and at Sans Gluten. I do want to caveat, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you do know I'm currently on sabbatical for the first half of 2020. Little did I know the rest of the country would go on sabbatical with me. I took about 6 months away from doing that traditional production work, so that way I could focus a little bit more on this and try to grow this side of the business a little bit more, because this side of the business is a lot more nimble. I can control a lot of it, and it has the potential to have great return, but you have to grow and be consistent and try, and thumbnails and description boxes and all that kind of stuff. You know, anything worth doing, you gotta try. So that was the whole point of the first half of 2020 for me. But I was only going to be doing this, focusing on the channel, for the first half of 2020. And then I was going to ease back in StumbleWell into doing the traditional production work. But now, because of everything that's going on, and because all the other production companies in Texas essentially have taken a sabbatical with me, you know, we're all gonna be sort of vying for the same clients as well once things kind of begin to slowly blow over and we all kind of come out of everything. And so I think the market's going to be very saturated based on my profession and my business, that applying for the PPP just made a lot of sense, because I could essentially keep my payroll going, which, as y'all know, I'm a single member LLC, so the payroll is mostly just me. Keep that going while I sort of weather the storm of trying to get back into traditional production work for the second half of 2020, because I think realistically we're probably going to be in this for a while, probably till like July, August. So the PPP, for me, the reason I was already able to apply is because I am a single member LLC. And for whatever reason, businesses just get a lot more available to you if you become a business rather than a DBA, which is doing business as. I was able to apply over the weekend because it opened up to LLCs April 3rd, whereas if you're a contractor, gig worker, it's gonna open up to you April 10th. I applied directly through my bank. My bank is one of the banks that was approved, and it's the bank that StumbleWell does all its banking through. So they already have a lot of my company information, because when you go to start a business account with a bank, they're going to request, you know, your certificate of whatever and what's your EIN and all that kind of stuff. They're going to request all of those official documents that you get when you start a new business via an LLC. So they kind of have a lot of that information already. And so I just applied through my bank's portal. So where you log in to check your bank account, check your numbers, transfer money, all that kind of stuff. I logged in there, and then it just kind of pulled me through a link tree within the website. Before I applied, I went to the Small Business Administration website for the government and pulled the application off of that and was filling it out. The bank I bank with also requests a little bit more information. Basically, they just want to know how many owners of the business are there. Any owner that owns more than 25% of the business, they want to know who that person is and get their information. For me, single member LLC, I own 100% of StumbleWell, so it's a very simple document for me to fill out. And the overall application that you get from the government is pretty straightforward. It's just asking for kind of just basic information, at least on the LLC front. It's asking for basic information, your name, company name, what's your company's EIN or social security number. And then you have to put in how much you want to apply for the loan. And that number is based off of how much payroll you are handling anytime between February 1st and June 1st of 2019 to figure out what your payroll. They basically use last year's numbers to understand where you basically were. As if it's not necessarily that you're trying to grow your business this year, it's just that you're trying to maintain your business this year. And that's the point of the loan, is to help you maintain. I only ended up requesting what I felt I needed right in this moment. And so I know that my bank, once they finally look over my application, they're probably gonna call and ask about that discrepancy, or maybe not, you know, whatever. Because this time last year, if I'm actually going off of my payroll from last year, I was knee deep in producing Say It Loud through StumbleWell. So I was paying myself. I had an assistant editor as a contract worker with me. I had a motion graphics and animation person as a contract worker with me. I was paying a writer at the time, and I was also paying a cinematographer at the time for other projects that StumbleWell was working on in conjunction with Say It Loud. So my payroll was actually quite high during those months last year. And so I think, if anything, they'll probably contact me and be like, "This is all you want, really?" And I'll be like, "Yeah," because right now, I don't have any contract workers, it's just me. So when you're filling out the application, it asks how much money you will request. Again, you're supposed to be averaging out what your payroll is. Now, something I will say is that usually when people think about payroll, they think about W-2 employees. But now they're considering payroll to be contract workers too. And I'm more than happy to hire an editor just to give them money. I'm more than happy to do that if that's what they want. And then, of course, there's like a questionnaire, and it's a lot of the stuff that you're gonna be used to if you've ever had to fill out government forms, like, are you a felon? Have you been disbarred? And overall, the whole application process took about 30 minutes. It took like 5 minutes to fill out the SBA application. And then it took about another 15-20 minutes to just hop on my bank's portal and apply and upload everything. Now, something I will say that you might also end up needing, even though your bank will have some of this information already, is you will probably need to upload your taxes from 2019, your business taxes. If you haven't filed already, then in lieu of that, at least what my bank requested in lieu of your taxes for 2019, if you haven't filed yet, is they wanted your profit and loss for 2019, and then they also wanted my balance sheet as of the end of 2019 as well. Again, this is a way to confirm what that number is you're requesting for your loan amount. The profit and loss sheet, the balance sheet will help them confirm that number. Ideally though, you give them your taxes so that way they can truly, like, officially, here's what you did. I have my taxes ready, I just hadn't filed them yet, so that was why I included the other stuff in my application. And that was pretty much it. It was really straightforward. On the emotional side of this, I went back and forth on whether I was gonna apply to the PPP because, and I don't know why. It was interesting. I kind of had this moment of realization of like, do you not think of yourself as a business, Hallease? Because you are one. You run a production company. It is a business. You have to be in the black every year. Like, why are you not thinking about yourself that way? And so that was an interesting just mental hurdle that I have kind of always gone through ever since I started StumbleWell in 2018. So on the mental side of it, that was interesting. I really wanted to get on and talk about this program for y'all as well though, because I really love that they've opened it up to contract workers. So even if you're not an LLC, again, you're doing a DBA or you're a sole proprietor, or if you're just someone who drives Lyft, Uber, you bring folks their groceries, like all those gig workers, gig economy stuff. If that is how you make the bulk of your income, you can apply for this. Again, you won't be able to apply until April 10th, but get your house in order and go apply. The worst thing that can happen is you take the time to apply and you don't get approved for anything. But at least you know that you did everything you could possibly do to keep yourself afloat during this time. At least you know that you made a decision for yourself that was good for you and could try to help to sustain yourself through this. I think on the other spectrum of that is if you do apply and you get the loan, ideally you don't need it. You know, like that's the most ideal situation to be in, is that you don't actually need the money. I would really urge you to apply. It's really straightforward. It's really simple. Call your bank, see when their applications will officially be opening. I know it's officially open through the government on April 10th, but you're going to apply through your bank. So I know some banks are kind of like just scrambling to kind of get ready, you know, to start taking applications. I'm really grateful that my bank seems to be really on top of it, and they were just like, and apply now, please. Like they shot me an email as a business owner and was like, you gonna apply? The other thing that's really interesting about this loan is that I believe it's 1% APR, which is like hella low. And the other thing to consider with this loan as well is that as long as you're using it for payroll, it will be forgiven. So like it's a loan, but like it's not. You can use the loan for payroll, utilities, lease, and mortgage payments based on your business. So for me, for example, payroll is me. I need to pay myself because I pay myself from the business, right? So that would be my payroll during this time. I do rent an office, a co-working space office. That's part of my rent, so it can go towards that. I can keep paying that business, right? So they can stay open too. And I just really wanted to get on and just talk about what the process was like for me, so that way if you're thinking about doing this, you know, I'm over here on the internet thinking about it too, amen? Something I will say again is that I think it really is important to find little victories whenever possible through situations like these, because I don't think you need to sink or swim during this time. You don't need to do that. I think you just need to float during this time. You just need to maintain. That's all you need to do. You're not trying to like, I know a lot of people online now are talking about how they're doing X, Y, and Z. They're using this time of being indoors to write that book, to do that thing. And that's all well and good. If you're one of those people, props, congrats, do it, do the thing, you know? Don't feel like you have to be that person. I don't think you need to swim epically, but you obviously don't want to sink. Just figure out how you can float and stay consistent during this time. Just figure out, make sure that you're doing things that can help you just survive this time. And I think the PPP is one of those things, one of those active things that you can do to try to survive this time. Again, get in where you fit in. I really hope that you apply sooner rather than later, because the money is fixed. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, you know, get in where you fit in. Apply as soon as you can. When I applied for this, I applied over the weekend, and this was all I did. I had one goal for the weekend, and it was to apply for this. And I was like, if I apply for this, I am doing what I can to make sure I float. That's it. So I just wanted to get on and talk about it. I just really feel like this could help a lot of y'all out, and I just want to make sure y'all are really aware that it's going on. I'm sure you are, but I just, yeah, like this is something you can actually do. Like this is a tangible thing. You can check a box and say, I did this for me, you know, during this time. And I think that's important when you're going through things like this, is feeling like you're doing everything you can, or everything within your power to do. Yeah. Regularly scheduled programming, artsy fartsy stuff coming out this week. But I just wanted to like put this out there because again, yeah, I just want y'all to be okay. Like, I just want y'all to be okay. In the comments below, if you have applied, let me know how that's going for you. If you have any other questions, I'll try to answer them. But again, please check out the description box. There's a lot. I'll make sure I have put a lot of different information on there because I am not a tax professional. I am not a loan specialist. I am not a government employee. I am just someone on the internet with a camera who runs a business and is trying to stay afloat just like you. So yeah. Big thank you to my Patreon production team for continuing to support your girl. Of course, if you need a drop during this time, completely understand as well. I'll figure it out. I'll take care of myself. But thank you so much for continuing to be a Patreon producer. I really appreciate it, especially now because, yeah, AdSense and Q2 is fitting to be just like LOLOL on AdSense. So thank you. And to everyone else, I'll see you when I see you.